That's the lemon thyme. I really like the smell of it. Some feverfew, which is just over here, and I have a smaller one over there. They survived the holding bay. I have some black barlow columbine still in bloom. And this is my Morden blush rose, which is now, I think, in its 3rd year, which is why it's looking so floriferous, along with a few more black barlows that are on their way out. And some little campanulas down below. So I'll walk you through the Rock River on this side. I have a fairy rose that isn't in bloom yet, but it will be soon. This is the, I can't think of the name of it right now. It'll come to me. Sonia hubrechtii, and then also with the silver mound, artemesia underneath. And some iris is still blooming. These in particular smell like grape crush, like you wouldn't believe. It's our crabapple, which has stopped blooming. We have a lot of plants that haven't opened up quite yet, but you wait and see. This is going to be a very large sanguisorba. This is sanguisorba tenuifolia. It's a white one, and it gets about 6 feet tall. It's kind of transparent, which is what I enjoy. And these are foxtail lilies, Cleopatra. And so you see there's quite a few of them. These 3 are the most mature, therefore they're the tallest. They get taller year by year as long as they stay in the same location and are treated fairly well. More nepeta. It's one of my favorite plants. And like I said, it's an absolute bee magnet. And on top of that, one of the really neat things you can do with nepetas and also geraniums is once you get almost all the blooms done and you're left with the little calyxes, which are the darker purple sort of shells of what the flower used to be in, you can literally take the plant, hold it up, maybe after watering it, just so you're sure there's no bees around, and cut down to the base of the plant, maybe leave about 2 or 3 inches of leaves, and the whole plant will flush back up again. You'll have a ton of new leaves, and then therefore another flowering closer to the fall, and it'll just continue up until frost. I have some allium schubertii that will be in bloom shortly, and over here I have some eryngium that will bloom, and they'll have blue colored flowers. That'll be really, really nice looking in a little while. Silver brocade artemisia, more sanguisorbas, alliums that are just in development, lots of millennium alliums that will be in bloom at some point, some more geranium brookside, which is another plant, like I said, that you can cut all the way back down and it'll rebloom. And over here we have some salvia, persicaria, some roses that are just starting to bloom. I just noticed the first bloom on this. That's the Italian ice Oh So Easy rose. I have 3 of them. One actually I thought was dead. So what did I do? I didn't give up on it. I didn't pull it. What I did was I cut back a lot of the woody growth, and you can see it's definitely not going to be flowering just yet, but it has begun to put on quite a bit of growth, and within a short time it will still flower this year. Another thing that, speaking of not giving up, would be not ever giving up on your hibiscus plants. what you're left with basically at the start of the year is all these little woody stems. You can cut those all the way back because there will not be new blooms on or new growth on those stems, but it comes from down below, and you can see all the new branches that are being formed. And before you know it, within about 2 weeks or so, this will be quite a large bush with the darker foliage. This is the Starry Night hibiscus. And since I was doing a little shopping, I found a plant I've been searching for a really long time. It's one of those things when you see something and you really are looking forward to finding it somewhere and you eventually find it, it's like, aha, and that's this guy here for me. I know that sounds a little silly, but if you're really into plants, you know what I mean. And this is the Phlomis tuberosa. I love the color of the stalks, and it's got these flowers that work their way up. I think another name for it used to be Turk's cap, but I prefer Phlomis tuberosa, its Latin name. And over time it will get larger, it'll fill out in this space. It's a zone maybe 4B or so it should be hardy in our area and survive winter no problem. And here are the thalictrum that I did not move this year. So as you can tell, they're quite a lot larger than the ones in the shade garden. And this is basically after having a plant for about 3 years or so. This is what they will look like. Pretty glorious. Once again, it's one of those floaty plants, and it actually goes really nicely with the Phlomis tuberosa I was just talking about. So I hope this was a fun tour. There's always lots to see. Ever-changing garden. Persicaria polymorpha there. And some other plants that are just still starting to get larger. And within short form, by the time I make my next video, I'm sure I'll have several more plants in bloom, and look forward to showing them to you. Enjoy. Have a wonderful day.